And why don't the two of you intro yourselves to us here, and maybe tell us where you join us from too, as everybody in the chat's been telling us a little bit about where they're coming from. So maybe we start with Sean first.
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. Sean Simmons. I'm a product manager on the Rekognition team. And our team is focused primarily on our face matching and our face analysis APIs. So really excited to be here. I'm actually coming in from Southern California, a town called Laguna Niguel. So yeah, it's warm and sunny down here too.
All right, welcome. Pavan.
Hey, hi. Sorry. Hi. Hi, I'm Pawan, and I'm a product manager in the Amazon Rekognition team as well. I'm joining in from Seattle. Super excited to see the enthusiasm here. A lot of fan base for the show. Love it.
It's always an amazing crew that we've got here on this show. So Sean, how would you describe Amazon Rekognition to someone who hasn't heard of it before?
Yeah, so Rekognition is a series of pre-trained AI models for customers who maybe don't have the expertise or the massive amount of data that's needed or the time to train models themselves. And so what they can do is they can hook into our Rekognition pre-trained AI models through API calls. So they can send Rekognition media, and then based on the model that they're calling, Rekognition can do content moderation or object detection or face matching or face analysis. And customers can get the response from the Rekognition models and then build those into their different application workflows. And so at a high level, that's really how customers are leveraging Rekognition for a variety of different use cases today.
I think that the other key thing that you bring up, Sean, that I like is the idea that this is something that we deploy that others can use, right? You can take advantage of this kind of thing in the cloud. One of the things we also talked a lot about during our Earth Day stuff last week was, this discussion about how much data that we at AWS try to kind of share with everybody for kind of better usage and purposes. I think this is another kind of great example of, you don't have to build your own. We're going to help you out here as well. It's a matter of like kind of how you take advantage of it as well. And I think that that's the excitement that's out there. I mean, I personally, Jillian, come from a background on the phone side of the world where, we released a bunch of features and, sometimes we didn't know what people are going to do. And suddenly people are counting 10,000 steps a day on their phone. And we're like, oh, wow, that sort of thing. So this is an example of, how, Rekognition can do that. All right. So Pavan, maybe we talk a little bit more about some of the use cases around Rekognition here.
Yeah, let me, I'm going to steal that one from you, Pavan. So one of the use cases that we focus a lot on is called identity verification. So it's one of the most scaled use cases for our face matching and our face analysis APIs. And identity verification is basically a mechanism for end users to prove they are who they say they are, right? And so that's important for institutions in finance or retail or gig economy or travel or healthcare. And it's also important for the consumers, right? So we want the institutions to be able to prevent fraud, and we want the consumers to be able to prevent theft of their own identity. And so we really see identity verification as a horizontal use case across all those different verticals. And Rekognition plays a part in a couple of the different steps for IDV. The first step is, for example, if you're a new user who's signing up for an online bank account, the first check that a lot of banks want to do is make sure it's a real person, right? And so Rekognition offers liveness detection to do that. And Pavan's going to do a deep dive on liveness detection and what that is. But essentially, we're making sure that, hey, this is a real person. It's not a spoof. It's not a deep fake. And you can trust that this is a real, live, actual person. And then after that, Rekognition is commonly used as one of several steps to verify that person's identity. And in that scenario, Rekognition can do a compare face of the face from the selfie video to a face on an ID doc if it's a user who's onboarding for the first time, a government issued ID doc. Or if it's an existing user who's trying to authenticate, Rekognition can do a comparison of the face from the selfie video to a stored face that you may have from that user because they already have an account. And then lastly, a lot of times when like financial institutions or travel institutions are onboarding users, they want to do a check to make sure that user doesn't exist already, right? And so they do a duplicate account check or a search to make sure that's not a user who previously attempted fraud against that institution. And so Rekognition is used in several of the identity verification steps there to help make sure it's a more secure and a more friction-free experience for the end users.
I love this idea on the security side, Sean. I think that there's so many applications to a feature like this. I mean, protecting your identity. All of us have sat around, sometimes when I work out at the gym, there's, an infomercial telling me how to protect my identity and, against fraud and stuff. But this is kind of a real time way that customers can do this. And I mean, I think financial services is one obvious one, but I'm pretty confident out there that all of you who are users as well and developers will also think of other ways as well that this sort of protection is needed as well. So I just, I think this is a great way to get started. And I'm super excited for the demo. I have to admit, I'm a big demo fan person.
I was just thinking that too. I think we should see it, right?
Yeah.
You've been hyping it up. I think the crowd wants to see it too, Pavan.
Yeah, ready for it whenever you are, whenever the crowd is. I
think we're ready to go. So yeah. Just to preface everything with a demo of, we're doing this real time, folks. So those of you who join us today, if there's any issues, it's real, and so we can have some technical hiccups as well.
Yeah. So again, just to remind, like Sean mentioned, this is a liveness check. The basic use case of this feature is to ensure that a person going through the identity verification is a real and live person. Quite often, we are worried that our photos from social media or our photos leaked somewhere could be used on behalf of us without our knowledge to log in or create accounts. So a way to guard a customer against these such bad actors is to ensure that a person enrolling or accessing your application is a real person. And we broadly capture like many attacks. The first bucket is what we call as presentation attacks. These are attacks that are generally presented to the camera, right? So let's say I'll demo the presentation attack where I take a photo on the magazine or on my phone of my friend. I try to show it to the camera and try to bypass the onboarding process or try to log in into someone else's bank account. The second kind of attacks we are seeing more in the recent times is what we call as an injection attack. In these cases, the advanced attackers might actually inject the generated videos, like something we see like synthetically generated photos or videos, and directly inject into the identity verification device. Let's say I take my identity check on my laptop, and I have someone else's video. I directly inject that video into the verification flow. So and this is a security breach, right? So there are dollars involved. There are a lot of legal downsides involved if you authenticate a wrong person. So that's where this feature comes into play to bolster your security in the face-based identity verification flow. And we'll see how it does it, right? So as you see, I'll do a live demo where I will try to authenticate myself as a real and live person and hope the demo works as expected. And I'll also show you when I try to attack the system, how it catches me. So let's see the demo. I'm going to switch over to my primary camera for the demo purposes.
Right. While you do that, I'm also learning how creative people can be to try to steal other people's identities as we go through this. My lack of creativity, or my failure to desire to steal other people's identities. Not sure what that is, Jillian.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah, tell me about it. So we at Rekognition think day in and day out how to improve security and make the flows very simple for a real user to complete it in few seconds, and make it so hard for the bad actors to stop them, right? So that's pretty much our bread and butter here in the identity verification space. Without ado, let's go to the demo and we can take questions. So we have this landing page, as you see on the right. So this is something which we have built for demo purposes. But a customer who is interested in using this feature can directly adopt this demo page and integrate into their application. Or if they want to change the look and feel, the text, the languages, any or the button format, they can play with it. They can change it. It's completely open source code, so they can customize to look better or look that suits their application format. And here we give out a set of instructions for the user so that they can complete the check in one go, and they can go to the next step and open their bank accounts or complete their rights or do or access some website. So yeah, so here after the landing page, we ask the consent to start the check. We want the user to have that empower the user to start or not. So once they start the check, we have this So yeah, once they start the check, you just capture the video.
So you get pretty close here.
Yeah, it depends on the screen size, and it also depends on the lighting. So you do get the more real the person is, the higher the score you get. And also we do supply an image that we capture from the video, so that you can the customer can use this image for the downstream flows, meaning they can take this image and compare it with a photo on the ID card and say whether it's a real person or not.
So then, yeah, Pawan, I just want to clarify this. So that liveness confidence score, that's the response after you set the developer here is going to make a request with like that actual image. So that's, is there anything else, or is that really the most important data point that these developers are going to be looking at to kind of determine the liveness?
Yeah, there are two important data points that we supply the customers with. One is the liveness confidence score. The higher the score, the more confident that they are a live person. And secondly is this image, right? So the image we give to the customer, they can compare it with a photo on, let's say, a driving license, or a photo on a passport, or the photo they have in their databases, and say it's a perfect match. Let's go. Let this person access our app on the web or mobile.
So, and tell me if I'm crazy. So, because I have been known to be Jillian in the past. But look, if I look at the liveness score and it says 76.4531, in this case, my mental interpretation would mean that we have a the system believes that there's a 76% chance that it's live. Now, is there an application, like if we're supplying this to folks out there to potentially use, maybe there is an application that finds 76% to be acceptable? Is that, I mean, we're doing a check here and that's not, but we're supplying this and someone can make that determination, the application, or is that something like we also supply unless it's greater than X, you should probably, not let them in or something?
It depends on customer to customer. It's
Okay.
a call. So that's why we actually give a score, not a Boolean value, where we say, okay, it's a perfect pass or a perfect fail. So we do give like we can provide guidance, seeing the customer use case and their application, whether what's the workable scope for them, and they can. The beauty of it is they can adjust the score over time. Tomorrow, or like let's say today, we suggest them like 80 or 85 is a good score to start with, and tomorrow they want to amp up their securities to so hard, or they have certain flows in their application. Let's say I'm trying to authenticate a transaction more than $20,000, right? This is a very high risk situation
Yeah.
for a customer, and they say, okay, I absolutely want 95 or above score here, and they can choose score and they can adjust it as per their workflows or use cases. So we
Okay.
can provide some guidance, and it is highly dependent on customer use case.
No, I think that's a great
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to cover it, right? Because a lot of people are going to use this app. We talk about a bit about financial services here and protection of things, but at the moment I can't think of the example where like 76% may be good enough for something. Maybe is it okay to buy bananas or something this afternoon? Okay, fine. It's a low risk probability. It's a transaction that may cost under $5. Sure.
Agree. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it depends, right? So it's a case by case basis, and it's not there is not a blanket answer. So we can actually see a demo where we catch a spoof attack live and
Okay.
see how the system performs. So
Yeah.
not giving ideas to the bad actors here, but just uh, let's see how it does. Right. I'm just grabbing my. Uh, uh, sorry, I was too late. I'm just grabbing my photo. I'm putting my bad actor hat on. Let's see. Right. I have my photo here. So yeah. So we give a fixed time to let the user get into the oval. And if that doesn't happen, we do guide them. As you see, all the guidance we provide to the user are in real time. So we do try help as much as possible for them to complete. Let me see. Let me try one more time. So it is already so hard, as you see, to complete the check. I mean, you need to be really determined to get through the check. So it's already, if I'm a bad actor, I would give up at this point, right? Let's see. So this time the bad actor got better with practice.
This example actually ties into a question that was asked in the chat. So minimum confidence score for the liveness result, maybe it's really to return a result, and they're using the word successful.
Yeah, as I said, it depends on the customer use case. We can provide guidance after looking at the use case, but we always suggest like a higher the better, right? It also comes
Yeah.
with the trade-off.
So
Right.
sounds
It
like
seems unambiguous that 0.0001 is no good.
I think what the clarification for this person who asked this question is that Rekognition is going to return a confidence score. So in terms of that being, so it'll successfully return a confidence score, but then you as the developer have to decide, okay, what is your bar for if this is going to actually be delivered in the application, or maybe a human in the loop type of workflow you still need to do retraining, or any other best practices that maybe are documented.
Yeah, we do have some documentation, like what's the best practices to deter such bad actors. Like one of the simple guidance is to stop such attempts if it's coming from the same device more than 5 times within the first 30 minutes. And we do provide guidance, and we also provide real-time feedback, as you see here. like whether to move close, move away, and so on. And for developers, we also can provide guidance on what's the right, what could be an advisable confidence score, seeing their use case, and what would be the accuracy would be at a particular confidence level.
And there's some questions also. I think there's some, because you were using a photo as an example, I think people were a little bit confused about if it can detect, like how it knows it's not a real person. So there were several examples of like, oh, what if someone were trying to be a bad actor and it was through a video instead of a photo?
Yeah. So how it works in simple terms is we capture this video from the end user, like as if you're moving into the oval, and we stream it directly to AWS, where we have AI models which analyze this video in real time. So as soon as the user completes this video, we have the results ready. That is this confidence score and the frame that is sent to the customer, and they can show it up on their application, whether the user have passed their bar of security or not. And the advantage of these is that this is a platform independent implementation, meaning if you take this on mobile or on web, it looks the same, and it works with all kinds of devices which has a front facing camera. And I'll stay corrected. Most of the devices which has a front facing camera, and getting this implemented into the application should not take more than a few days, as we provide the full open source client SDK that goes into the applications, and also the APIs required.
Yeah, so I think that, is there anything that, sorry, I guess I feel like I heard an echo for a second. Is there anything that we haven't covered about this feature set, Sean or Pavan, that you'd like to make sure that everybody understands or we highlight out there? I think, we kind of really got excited here about the demo. And for those folks, we kind of had to explain that, this could be done as well if somebody had tried to fake a video, but we just don't have time today to do the demo on the video side. So I just want to be clear, there were a couple people who asked about it. So we're just kind of, for time purposes, we're out of time today. But anything else, Pavan and Sean, that Jillian and I have either failed to ask or you want to make sure everybody hears out there?
One thing I would add is it's just not the photo or video. We can identify 3D masks and also the generated videos, the synthetic videos that you can generate nowadays with AI tools.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah. And you can learn more about this feature on our Amazon Rekognition page. We have launched this, and it's available in all major continents. So the performance should be same or almost similar from all the regions that you try to use this feature from.
All right. Sean, any final wrap-ups from you?
No, just to reiterate, I think there's some links there where we actually do demonstrate the video. So we'll make sure we get those links out for the broadcast so folks can see that. And then, encourage developers to test it themselves. We're interested in your feedback and to work with you. So thank you all for joining.
Why Play Nice is gonna play around with it. So we've got some excitement.
Awesome.
Perfect. Pavan, Sean, thank you so much for sharing us this Rekognition Face Liveness. I think a lot of people are gonna definitely implement this. This is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.